What is up? What is going on, my friends? Cara Moonlane here with Jar of Good Intentions extended version. Just kidding. That's a shout out to my friend Jace Jacobs, who has Jar of Poetry. Jar of Poetry. He's the best. I have met so many cool people through him. I can't even tell you. And I found him through just a comment on an Abel James video. I just followed him back to his channel and I was like, oh, this sounds like a cool dude. He's from Arizona and he writes a poem, or he writes a lot of poetry and puts it out there, and then he draws it out of a jar, and then he tells his poem. So if you know him, that's awesome. If you don't, you should go check him out. I will probably not link him. I'm sorry. I got a lot of linking to do. But through Jace Jacobs, I met John Binney, who is a really super cool musician. We are both cool kids, part of a cool kids club. And we wrote a song together, and it is quite fantastic, and I do love it so much with all my heart. It is called Forgiven. And yeah, I won't go into details about it, but it's a little song that's been kicking around in my head for a while, and I wrote the lyrics, and he likes really upbeat, happy, joyful, loving, universal music, and he writes a song or two every day. He's just always cranking them out. I don't know how he has time for that, but you know, you make time for the things you care about. So anyway, I will link our song in the description because I am so pleased with it, so proud of it. It got a lot of views. I put it on Facebook, and all my little curious friends were like, what is this? And so they looked, and I got a lot of nice compliments on it. So anyway, and yeah, I won't go into details about it, but it's a good song, and he named his album Forgiven because he's awesome like that. And so very, very wonderful. Did I say he's from Scotland? I can't remember. I don't think I said that. Yeah. I think he said he has 2 kids and a dog. And I think he's a computer guy. Anyway, so it's hit the fan, guys. What do you want to think about that? I went to Walmart today on my it was a 4-hour town trip. I was awesome. I left my home at 10 a.m. I got back to my home at 2 p.m. exactly. That's the way to live, really. Go into town, get the things you need. You know, I live 45 minutes from town, so it's a pain to do that. But I just went in, did some business, got some snacks, and went to Walmart to get my grocery pickup. And they're like, we're sorry, we have no toilet paper. I'm like, really? Okay. I said, okay, I'll go in the store, no big deal. Because I try to keep a case on hand. Not a case, but like 15. Oh, there's a little clearing. What? Oh. She gave me a message. I try to keep, 12, 15 rolls ahead of the game. But we also have books. You can use that. But John said he has used books. I wonder if maybe in the Ukraine they had to use paper at some point. I don't know. He said it's not what you think. It's not that great. So I can imagine it would cause irritation. But fabric might be the answer. I mean, if you took a t-shirt and like quartered it up, used one sleeve, took care of the things you needed to do, and then burned it, then I think you'd be okay. Anyway, so I need to make sure I have enough matches on hand. But there was no toilet paper in all of Walmart. It was crazy. And I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and they've canceled church for the foreseeable future, which is kind of awesome, but just kidding. But okay, if you are a member, then you know that church has been reduced down to 2 hours anyway, and so, it's more of a home-centered religious experience to teach your children and whatnot. And so there's that. So they've been, helping us to do that for over a year now, a year and 3 months. I think that started like in January of last year. So there's that. So the prophet saw that coming. Anyway, I haven't actually read the message because I have a short attention span. I have a hard time reading things sometimes. But the gist of it is that for the foreseeable future, we're not going to have any large church gatherings. They've canceled a funeral that I was supposed to play the organ for, which is okay because, that's kind of scary sometimes. But, I feel bad for the family. They would really like to mourn the loss of their father. The llama's doing something weird. Anyway, where was I going with this? But they said at least, local leadership in the church should try to give people the opportunity to partake of the sacrament once a month at least. So, our prophet is assuming that this is going to go on for quite a while. So there's that. I think we're just going to be in our homes a lot, which is cool. That's fine. I mean, I want to keep my kids close. I'm nervous because Clarin is still up working at the lodge, but I've been talking to her and she's like, yeah, I've got gas. I've got food. There's 66 rolls of toilet paper here. And, you know, I don't think that a lot of people are going to be staying at the lodge because, you know, we just need to kind of draw in and stay home and figure out our priorities. And I am not going to give away any clothing, though, because that's potential toilet paper. It's true. Anyway, and I thought that I should include a new segment after this all blows over. But once a month, you know, I like to talk about my goals and stuff, and they're okay. I'm going to have to revamp what I'm doing, but because it's not working so well. But it's better than nothing. I got a little bit of a cough myself, so I keep telling people it's allergies, which I don't know. I think it is. But what is there to be allergic to right now in Idaho? Snow mold. That's what I've heard. Anyway, I'm just so anxious, and this gets my hoarding going. Whatever. But I love you guys, so I want to talk about prepping a little bit. Okay, so years ago, back when we lived at the dairy, I made myself these little cards. Oh, they're backwards. This is my perpetual menu. We'll talk about that someday. It's a good one. And they're a little card. And what I did was I took all of the information that I had available to me, and when it comes to food storage and prepping, and I divided it up into 12 months so that when you go to the store, you can just pull these out of your little purse and be like, how am I doing for salt? You know, so what I would like to do is now go down to my food storage room and see how many things of salt I have. Because my prepper notes, yeah, we'll call them that. They say you need to have 5 pounds of salt per person. How do you feel about that? What do you think? I have high blood pressure. I am salt sensitive, I believe. I shouldn't be eating a lot of salt. I don't salt hardly anything that I cook. And my family hates it, but that's fine. I want to live. Oh, there's another friend. Insane. Sorry. Okay, so the things on my list for this month are 5 pounds of salt per person, 20 pounds of oil or shortening per person. That is a crap load of oil and shortening. But if you think about it, if that was like the only way you had to cook anything and not let it stick in the pan, that's a lot. I don't use a lot of shortening in my everyday life, so I'm more apt to probably buy oil. And some of these things, I think, well, does Clarin count as a whole person? She doesn't live here. I probably count her as a half a person. So I would need, that for 5.5 people. So I would need, that's a lot. 27 pounds of salt, Anyway, 1 roll of aluminum foil. I don't know if that's per person or not. So I would probably try to get 1 per person. Because, if you needed to do some alternative cooking, like on a fire or something, if I had to cook all that hundreds of pounds of hamburger that I have, that'd be handy. 1 roll of plastic wrap, and then 5 gallons of water per person. And I'm thinking this might be drinkable water. When I empty a Clorox bottle, bleach bottle, or a laundry detergent thinger, I usually fill those up with water because I figure that would be good for flushing toilets or doing a little cleaning, But then I try to keep water on hand. I try to keep it in the van. Just, a few little things. But anyway, so that's my prepper notes. That's so cute. Prepper notes for March. So we'll talk about more prepper notes in April. So, try to keep your tanks of fuel, try to keep above a half a tank. I'm thinking that I need to run to the post office, so maybe I'll stop by the gas station, see what they have for matches or toilet paper, and then what I need to do is go downstairs and count my salt, my shortening, my oil, and then just buy one every week until I get up to where I need. Because these people that are hauling out giant carts of prepping supplies, that's really obnoxious, because a lot of people can't afford them. And so I feel like you're stealing from other people. You're stealing toilet paper from me. I need toilet paper. Okay, I'm going to go. Oh, crap.